Alexander. He will share the experience of our IT skills. When we start when we switch to online formats, we have understanding that it will be possible only to make IT skills online. However, as you can see, we are managed with all other skills, but of course, IT skills are in the most progress with online platform and with automated assessment system. So, Alexander, could you share your experience, please?
Yeah, hi everyone. So can you hear me? Can you see the slides?
Yes. Но звук
Yeah,
можно
thank you.
погромче чуть-чуть.
Just give me a second, please. I'll try to speak like a little bit louder. So can you now hear me
Yes,
better?
yes, it's better now.
Oh, it's better now. Okay. Okay. Hi, everyone. So welcome on board. Thank you for joining. So today I'm going to share some insights about the natural evolution of the IT skills competition. So, and speak a little about how we move from the on-premises competition to the online. So just a couple of words about myself. I'm from the city called Tyumen. This is in the middle of nowhere, Western Siberia. I'll show you in a map, like just in a couple of slides. So currently I'm the founder, and I'm doing the role of the consulting engineer in the expert community called NSA Lab, so which stands for Network Systems Administration Lab. And as you can see, I have some pretty much of the WorldSkills experience from the competitor side and from the expert side. So before we proceed, I just want everybody be on the same page in terms of some key definitions. So when we speak about the on-premises competition, so I think everyone is familiar with it because this is the most traditional way to organize this kind of events. So, and when we have the on-premises competition, so in this environment, the resources deployed in-house, so meaning right inside the competition venue. So when we speak about the remote competition, so we probably have the same people on the competition venue, or they might be distributed, but the key point that the resources are centralized and they are deployed somewhere off premises. So it can be a sort of the private cloud. So we will speak about cloud in a couple of slides. It might be the other type of installation, but the key point is the major difference from the on-premises competition. When we do on-prem, so the experts on site, the competitors on site, all the equipment is on site. So we don't have to do some sort of centralization in terms of the IT skills, right? When we do the remote remote competition, so we have to have all resources to be centralized in order to automate some provisioning and maybe the marking, all right? So, and when we speak about the online competition, so here's a bit different from the remote one. So when we do online, so the resources can be allocated and deallocated on demand using the public cloud providers. So we will speak about this difference a bit deeper in a minute. So, but before this, I just want to mention the definitions of the CapEx and OpEx, which stands for the capital expenditures, which are comprised of the major purchases that will be used in the future. So when we speak the CapEx, we probably mean that we are purchasing some hardware. So in terms of IT skills, it might be from my point of view, so the IT network systems administration skills. We work a lot with the specialized equipment like networking equipment, and this is the major pain from the CapEx side. So, and we also have some operational expenditures, which are represent day-to-day costs, which are necessary. So it can be logistics, it can be renting of space, the electricity. So everything that you do on day-to-day basis. So to contrast this definition, so this is the photo from the last year, and Kazan from the international competition last year. So here we have, so this is Max. The Max was the workshop manager on the Skill 39 workshop. So, and on this photo, he had the 4 tracks of the equipment just dispatched, and so he actually going to start to build the whole workshop. So, and this is not the all equipment, right? So because not all equipment can get into the photo, but the thing is the capital expenditure for the equipment, I mean the major part, which is directly related to the TUS project. So the approximate cost was about $1.5 million on the general price list. So sounds a lot, right? And the thing is, this is the capital expenditures just for one event. So only just for international competition. So quite a lot of money, right? So, and imagine the time and effort which the workshop team managed to build this workshop and to deallocate this workshop after the competition. So it's quite a lot from the CapEx and from OpEx side as well. So how do we contrast this on-premises competition with the remote one? So me and my team, we had like last couple of years, pretty many cases of experience organizing the remote competitions. So here you can see the map with the countries. So this is the descriptions of each event. So we had the remote competitions in Arab Emirates for WorldSkills Asia, national competitions in Germany, UK, some invitational competitions in China, the international Global Skills Challenge in Australia, national competition in Canada, even some corporate competition in India, national competition in Kazakhstan. And yes, so we had the remote competition experience, not for Skill 39, but for the cybersecurity last year in WorldSkills International in Russia. So here on the map, you can see the location of the private cloud, which were built by our team when we made the joint project with the university, which is the Tumen State University. So when we speak about the remote, so you remember the remote competitions in where you actually allocate resources off premises. So in each of these competitions, the competitors and experts, they were on premises on the competition side, but all the resources which are were required to do the test project or some module of test project, it might not be the whole competition. So they were dispatched off premises on the private cloud. So when we speak private cloud, so what does it really mean, the private cloud? So this is the how it was looking like under the hood. So this is the, it's not completely cloud, but this is the some sort of centralized solution for the organizing the Skill 39, which is the IT network systems administration and cybersecurity competitions occasionally. So you can see that this infrastructure takes a lot of effort, a lot of time to set up. So it's approximately, it took us approximately 1 year to set it up and make it run absolutely functionally, because the equipment costs money, logistics, some equipment not really compatible with the others, so that there was the problems with the initial design, so we had to redesign some parts. So it took us a lot of time, right? So actually, another thing, it requires the really qualified engineers to maintain. So if we have some event, right, in any other country, let's say UK, Germany, or Canada, so of course, we have to agree on the test project infrastructure in order to provision this infrastructure in advance and check that everything is working, everything can be deployed before the competition start. Otherwise, we have problems. But the key thing is, even if we have some events which we don't really expect. So, for example, in India, we were actually making the test project from scratch the night before the competition itself, because the orgs were intended to do some different test projects. So people who actually went to this competition, I mean, from the other countries for the training for the cybersecurity, they were not really impressed with the topology and test project proposed by the org. So we actually committed to make the test project really quick and build the whole virtual infrastructure the one night before. And next day, about 12 a.m., it was actually ready. So it gives a lot of flexibility and possibility to create and scale the events to the a big amount of competitors. So the biggest one was actually the Indian competition, where we have, I don't remember exactly, but it was like 32 or 35 competitors we had in India. So you can see the project cost, and this is only the CapEx. So this is the calculation only for the equipment. So it costs a lot of money, even less than the on the previous slide. I mean, the infrastructure for the international competition. And the thing is, you can reuse this infrastructure over and over again. So this is more, sounds like a CapEx, right? So this is sort of the long-term investment. But if you can see the project dates, so the project was started in December 2016, and the project was closed in December 2019. So last December it was closed. The university not really wanted to maintain this infrastructure, so it was disbanded. So 3 years actually with this cost is a lot better than the $1.5 million GPL for the 2 weeks international competition. But anyway, so this is not the way we want to go, actually. But before we proceed, so how do we actually estimate the amount of the resources and the infrastructure list for the either on-premises competition or the remote competition? So we have the basically 2 major numbers. So this is the amount of the resources that we have, or which we expect from the sponsors or the skill partners, and we have some amount of competitors. So how many competitors we expect. So we divide the number of the expected resources to the number of the expected competitors. And we can say, so this is the amount of test project resources that we can actually give to the each competitor to make to set up the competition, right? So this is not the way that we want to actually run the competition, because we have the circumstances when we don't want to be, let's say, limited to the amount of the resources, and we have the possibility to scale up really quickly. So how do we use this estimation in online competition? So we actually having the same number, how many competitors do we expect, but instead of saying or thinking how many resources do we have, so we actually name the minimum amount of the test project resources that we need for the one competitor or one team. And so as a result of this multiplication, we have the total amount of the resources that we need to request from where. So the public cloud providers coming into play, and how is it possible, right? So we actually don't have anymore the physical infrastructure, the physical devices, the physical computers. I mean, of course we do have to have the PCs, right, or laptops to access the infrastructure. But the key point is we don't need to spend money and have any big capital expenditures on the compute power or GPU power or anything else which costs a lot of money, right? So here is some simple representations how we can do the test project infrastructure as a code. So the experts actually, they define the number of competitors. They have to create some test project template. It depends on the cloud provider that we are using, actually. So in our experience, so we are actually using the AWS and the Microsoft Azure, but there are a lot of the cloud providers, so you can actually use any of them, which is more suited to your test project or your skill infrastructure needs. So the experts actually just telling the cloud provider using the automatic programming application programming interface, so please give me these number of the test project templates, meaning the resources, the virtual machines, the containers, or any other types of infrastructure that you need. So cloud provider just silently give you the amount of resources which actually you requested, because the clouds are built for really huge enterprises, and the test project load for some sort of IT competition is not a big load for the cloud provider. So we can actually sort of say that we have unlimited amount of the resources, the capacity. So after we closed the event, so we had the test projects deployed for any number of competitors that we wanted. So we held the competition, so we got the marks. So we don't really need these resources anymore. So we just telling the cloud provider, please deallocate these resources. So we don't need them anymore. And cloud provider just deallocates their resources, and the cloud provider, after usually in the end of the billing period, which is the end of the month or the start of the next month, they just send you the bill for the amount of resources that you used. Meaning if you're using the, let's say, one virtual machines and you have like 12 competitors, and for the test project overall for the 12 competitors, you have to have some 12 virtual machines, and you need it for, let's say, 5 hours. So the bill in the end of the months of the billing period will be sent you only for these 12 virtual machines used for 5 hours. So meaning that you don't have to rent the equipment, you don't have to rent the servers, you don't have to rent anything like for a month or buy it for years and pay for the logistics, the space, the electricity, etc. So of course, it requires some qualification from the experts, right? So, and the experts should follow some core principles, like storing the configuration, meaning the test project infrastructure templates in version control systems like Git, using the GitHub or GitLab or whatever platform they prefer. So they have to use and at least be familiar with some machine-readable formats or languages like YAML, JSON, or old-fashioned XML or whatever, right? So everyone who working with this infrastructure, so we can have the number of experts, and they all should need and treat the version control system as the only source of the truth, right? So meaning editing and like modifying the templates locally on the laptops is not going to work with this sort of the infrastructure. So all changes and all modifications should be version control and centralized as well. So meaning that we can develop, we can test, we can deploy the test project infrastructure from a single source. So, and we have to be familiar. So because the cloud providers, they usually providing the same types of the service, but the APIs, the programming interfaces, they are different from the cloud provider to the cloud provider. So you have to be familiar. The experts should be familiar with the differences on the APIs and specialized tools which are used on the selected cloud provider. So meaning that we don't have to use any manual configuration of the infrastructure. So everything should be automated as possible. So can we actually expand these principles to the marking? So we actually can. So it depends on the number of factors. And the first question that rises when we speak about the automated assessment in IT skills is, do we really need the assessment to be automated? So it really depends on the situation, right? So if you have like not big number of the competition events and they are like small scale, you have like sort of 5, 8, or maybe 12 competitors. So does it really take the time and the cost of your effort to make all the marking automated? Probably not. So, but when you have the events on the regular basis, when you have really big scale, when you have like 10, 20, 30, 40 competitors. So it really makes sense to make the assessment framework automated as much as possible. But of course, we have some pros and cons, right? If we will contrast the manual and automated marking in terms of the time. So of course, the manual marking takes more time than the automated marking. If we speak about in the competition. So of course, the automated marking takes a lot of time to design before the competition. So, but here we speak about after the competition finished, right? So when we speak about the granularity, so manual marking cannot be that granular as the automated marking, of course. So for example, so you can refer to the marking scheme aspect. So make sure that every user can log into a corporate domain or the website. So what if we have only 10 users required to log into the domain or the website? So we can actually do the granular marking for the 10 users. But what if we have like 100 users or 1,000 users, 10,000 users? So we are not going to check every of the 10,000 users manually, right? So here we can actually make the marking more granular with the automated marking. So in terms of complexity, of course, the manual marking is not really complex, because so all you have to do is should be enough, I mean, in terms of space and complexity, which you can place to the marking scheme or how to mark. So, and of course, automated marking might be really complex. So it depends on the test project and people who actually like different experts who are not designing this automated marking. It may take a lot of time and effort to understand the whole marking script and what they do, what they don't do. So it really may be really complex, and we will speak about a little bit later. So, and the complexity comes to transparency. The less marking complex, so it's more transparent, right? So when we have a long, like hundreds of lines script of the automated marking, so it becomes not really transparent, which is the first reason for the experts to reject these types of automated marking. But the most actually valuable point is the automated marking has the lower probability of the injustice error. So imagine you have a competition for 30 or 40 competitors who are doing the test project simultaneously, and you have to go through all of these 40 competitors and assess the same things. So the experts, they are humans, right? They can be tired, they can miss some insignificant parts which can actually be more significant than they think. So, and when we have a big scale of the competition, so it's more highly likely to have injustice error when the experts doing the manual marking, because even if we have some errors or mistakes in the automated marking scripts, they will be the same for everyone. So if somebody got the 0 because something is wrong with the marking script, everyone will get 0. So this is the major takeaway from the automated assessment. So, and how can we actually make the automated marking more transparent and less complex? So it requires the redesign of the test projects and redesign of the assessment criteria, because currently I saw a lot of cases when actually through the practical skills demonstration, experts require competitors to demonstrate the exam knowledge. So meaning if you know some tips and tricks which are assessed in some sort of certification blueprint, so please show me how do you do it in the practice. And this is the wrong way to have. So the right way to go is to use the functional assessment of the business value result. So as an example, in skill 39, the IT network systems administration, we usually have a lot of connectivity tests. Like, let's say we have some requirement in the test project, so please ensure that the users in the headquarters office have the internet connectivity. So instead of checking how competitor configured this internet connectivity, we should actually assess that the connectivity exists, no matter how it is achieved. But the business value is to have the connectivity to the internet or the to the different corporate branches or whatever. I hope you got the idea. So, and if we will redesign the test project requirements and the assessment criteria to include only the functional assessment, so automated marking can be much more easier and more transparent. So this is just an example of the testing, how actually can the automated provision can be achieved. So the one more thing about the automated marking assessment is you have to really have the means to test your marking, your automated marking. So the thing is, you can imagine, right? The test project, the test project module is actually 5 hours. So to test every version of the automated assessment script, so you have to complete the test project over and over and over again. So you have to make some sort of the automated implementation of the test project. So here's just the example when we have the old infrastructure for the Skill 39 Module C virtualized. And since we are implementing the core principles that we talked about a couple of slides earlier, so we can actually not only programmatically deploy the infrastructure, we can also automatically implement the test project. And after that, we can automatically assess the test project. So this is the only examples, but I hope you got the idea, right? So speaking of the IT competitions, IT skills that can actually use the same methodology, I think it can be applied almost for all IT skills, not only the Skill 39 IT network systems administration. So of course we have cloud computing. So, and this is the coincidence that today, I think 17 minutes ago, so we finished the AWS game day. So this is not the final result. So I made this screenshot like hour before the presentation. So, and because the cloud computing is the cloud native skill, of course, they do have automatic means to deploy the infrastructure and assess the result of the test project. So here is just an example of the event engine that AWS using for the assessment of the teams, actually. So it's pretty much real world. So I can say, because the test project objectives is to like migrate the infrastructure from the on-premises environment to the cloud environment with minimal downtime, and you actually have do a lot of things like security, auto scaling, a lot of things, right? And the assessment is actually ongoing, so it's really online. So you can see the timing on the left. So a few seconds ago, 3 minutes ago, so they constantly testing, and the teams got the score on the scoreboard. So this is not really a WorldSkills event. So this is just just an example how the competition, the professional qualification audit can be assessed on the online, of course. So this is the cloud computing, right? So, but we also have the web technologies, IT solutions for business, graphical engineering, CAD, right? So these competitions, these skills require really only the computational power. So, and there is no need to make it CapEx, right? So we can actually transform the capital expenditures when we buying the hardware, the servers, the other equipment to the operational expenditures when we actually just require the amount of resources. So we use the resources, we just deallocate the resources, and we pay only for the resources that we use in the time we use, right? So in the end, so this is more about the cultural transformation, right? Because I know a lot of experts in IT who actually don't know what is the cloud, how to use the cloud, and they really like to dealing with the real hardware equipment, but this is not really way to go because we are in 2020, right? So we have the circumstances which are not very friendly to this kind of events, and so we have to move forward. But the key takeaways is to please stop invest in the hardware. Please start invest to the people, your people. So this is all for today. Thank you so much. So please feel free to drop me a line using the email, Facebook, or Telegram. I will just copy the my contacts to the chat. So, and this is all for today for me. I will pass them back to Alina. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexander. So we can see that IT skills already ahead. So they're not just we are not just talking about how to make assessment just in online format. We are finding the way how to make assessment out in automated way. And also what we have mentioned here that you see that all skills actually need this transparent digital skills. So IT skills now we can see that IT skills can be part of each skill. From one point, it could be like part of competition task, and from another hand, we can use IT technology and digital technology for assessment. So thank you everyone who joined us. Sorry that it takes more time for today. However, I think that information was really useful. Also, we would like to share with you all the scale of different kind of skills, how it's possible to run competition and how it's possible to run assessment. So we hope that you get inspiration for your countries. If you have any questions, you can write this question on the email. And based on our program, tomorrow we will discuss how vocational education system and how business support skills competition with these new formats. And also, if you're interested in more detailed information regarding few skills, also check the program and attend meetings and workshops according to. Thank you, everyone, and see you tomorrow and next days.
Bye, everyone. See you tomorrow.
Bye. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. See you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything.
Good, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.